This is Couples Court with the Cutlers.
This is the case of Gardner versus Dix. You all have been together for 6 years. You have 2 kids together. There was some infidelity early in your relationship, but you got past that. You're now engaged to be married. But this engagement that started on a mountaintop could very well go off a cliff depending on what happens in this courtroom today. Is that right, Ms. Gardner?
Yes.
Right. You've initiated this case. Tell us why, please.
There's been some warning signs. He's very flirtatious. He takes that flirtatious thing about himself outside of the house. Even I have reason to suspect that he's doing these types of things at work when you're supposed to just be making money and taking care of your family.
So he's working at work.
Working at work, exactly.
All right, Mr. Dix, are you working at work?
Yeah. Even though there's no, not really. And I'll just go in there to just work. Like every day I go in, you know, have you.
But Ms. Gardner thinks you're cheating. What do you have to say about those allegations?
Yeah, it haven't really went past anything.
That's
because
a lie.
If you say.
That's a lie. I believe that when you step outside of your relationship, your mood changes. How you interact with the person changes. Everything's different. So that's what woke up my woman's intuition. It's just the difference in the way that he was dealing with me and handling me.
And so you've seen this difference.
Right.
And you think Mr. Dix is giving it to somebody else?
Correct.
Okay.
So tell me what you've seen that actually proves he's cheating.
One day when I was getting ready to go to work, I hear his phone go off. So, you know, I turn around like, okay, you know, that's kind of strange. So I turn around and of course the trust issues are there. If I trusted him, I would have just kept walking out the door, but I didn't trust him.
So it was strange to you that his phone rang when you were going out the door? I mean, his phone probably rings a lot. I mean...
No, it doesn't. That's the thing. So it alarmed me. It was right at the moment that I walked out the door.
And you're thinking to yourself, okay, who knows my schedule?
Exactly.
Like, okay, it's call the person, that's what she's thinking is that he's like, she leaves at this time, so the person got ahead of themselves.
But that could be a coincidence.
Well, it could be, but when you already on high alert, you're like, what?
Right.
What is this?
Okay,
and then I looked in his phone and I saw the text messages between him and a woman saying, would you like to come over to a house that, you know, I invested in, you know, for us to, like, our first starter family home, everything. And
he's inviting this woman over?
And you're inviting a woman over there. Exactly.
All right.
So, Mr. Dix, I guess it wasn't just a coincidence. I guess your phone's going off at that time for a particular reason.
No.
Who's this woman you invited over?
Yeah, it was somebody, but, you know, they didn't come over and, like, I was texting them. Yeah,
do you hear, wait. Do you hear the words that are coming out of your mouth?
Yeah, I hear.
It was somebody. I did text them. They didn't come over, so no harm, no foul.
Okay, so
right?
wait.
Right?
Way back here, Mr. Color, when I texted them, that might be okay. But when you invited them over, that's, you know,
is that where you drawing this line? Is that where you drawing the line?
This is the line right here. I invited them over. Because if they had come over, the question is, what happens?
It was just a friend, like.
And I'm not
Was
sure
it a female friend?
Came over.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no.
Like on everything, like it was just a female friend, but then nothing going to happen.
No, because I saw text messages also approaching her sexually, you know, telling her what you wanted to do to her, you know, sexually, what you wanted her to do to you. I saw those text messages, and I also saw calls between you two in your call log. Yes, you did.
No, I did.
About your face.
So, Mr. Dix, are you giving this woman just step-by-step instructions? I want you to come over, and then I want you to do this, and then I'm gonna do this. Is that you just got just a manual just laid out there?
No, I didn't have no step, no plan A through Z. Nothing.
You're like,
okay, but here's the thing.
What you wanted her to do to you.
Mr. Dix, what you missing is you may not, and I'm not saying you didn't, but you may not have had a plan, but you don't know what her plan was. And she got you home alone.
Yeah.
And this is an argument, a conversation Mr. Cullen and I've had over the years about how men don't recognize that sometimes you getting trapped in your own trap.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Ms. Gardner, is there anything else that makes you think that Mr. Dix is hunting for another woman?
He has a habit of being messy. One day, I got a phone call from him while he's at work, and he tells me that there's, some guy confronting him. So me being his woman, being very protective, and also not wanting his job to be affected, I was worried. So he did not tell me to come down there, but I took it upon myself. So when I got down there, I was approached by the male that he was having an altercation with. He explained to me the situation, why he confronted Marcus, and it's because his girlfriend at the time, he sent that girl a penis picture.
Mr. Dix did?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, of course, her man got upset, confronted him at the job, and his mouth paid the price.
So did you send her a picture of your privates?
Yeah, the way I didn't really send it. Like,
No, you don't. Wait, hold it.
Mr. Dix.
Now we know where the name comes from, but.
Hey.
Here's my thing.
Exactly.
Is that a yes or no? Because you can't kind of send one of those pictures. You either do or you don't.
It wasn't on purpose. Because, like, we were getting into it. Like,
We who?
Me and Sinicia.
Okay.
Like, we would never, like, when we get into it, she always wound up leaving me.
Okay, speed this along, get to the part where you pressed send to send a picture of your product.
So I was on.
And it was accidental.
Like, I was in my phone, and I would just, like, scroll, and then, like, when it stopped, then I
Is this
got
some
a lot
kind
of female.
penis roulette you're
That's
doing?
for it to be an accident.
Okay, wait.
Wait,
No,
hold on.
like, her, like.
Is this some kind of penis roulette you're doing? You take a picture, you scroll down your phone,
It was a
you
roulette.
hit, and that's
it
who
was a
gets it?
50-50 chance that it might have been somebody that I worked with, and it was, so.
Okay, if this wasn't enough, has there been anything else?
Yes.
Okay.
We had another situation. One day, this girl, we were, bickering at the time and everything like that.
You mean you two were?
Yes, we
Came to my
were.
job with
Okay.
my clothes.
Yeah, and I did that. And so after that, I went outside and I was trying to calm down and everything like that. That's when my friend came outside and the girl confronted me about what he was doing. She said that he was being very flirtatious with her. He was making sexual passes at her. She said they touched each other sexually. And I did, ask a couple people up there because, he thinks everybody's his friend. And the people he talks to the most, the funny thing is they're the ones that talk to me the most.
They doing this.
Behind his back.
I don't say nobody up there is a friend. Like, nobody is a friend. I don't hang out with nobody. When I go to work, then I come home. Nobody from work come over there. I don't got nobody number. Like, I don't hang out with nobody.
But Mr. Dix, you're doing everything. You may not hang out with him outside of work, but it sounds like you're doing everything at work. You're flirting. You all are sending text messages. All this is going on at work. Ms. Gardner, I see that you brought a witness with you.
Yes.
All right. Ma'am, would you stand, please, behind the podium? All right, and tell us your name.
My name is Mira.
All right, your last name?
Jenkins, Mira Jenkins.
All right. Ms. Jenkins, what is the nature of your relationship to Ms. Gardner and Mr. Dix?
I know them through a family member, but I began to hang out with them more last year.
So what is it that you've observed that we need to know about?
Marcus, like she said, he's really flirtatious. He was really flirtatious. I know one of my friends, she used to tell me that he used to text her, asking her to please her orally. She was actually my friend, but I was friends with her too. So, I used to tell her, like, don't do that. Like, he got an old lady,
If somebody don't want to talk to you no more, well, okay, let me talk to you right quick. I don't want to talk anymore or something like that instead of just
But you're missing the point. You're missing the point.
Well, I think what's the point?
The point is, why are you writing about sexual activity That's the problem. It's not that she had the gall to say, I don't like what's going on. It shouldn't have been anything going on to begin with.
Right.
Right.
All right, so do you believe that Mr. Dix is cheating?
I mean, yeah.
You do?
Yeah, just from the things that I've seen, I feel like if he's willing to like flirt with me, knowing that I know his old lady,
and we hang out often,
period, then he would do it he'll mess around with anybody.
Right.
All right, Ms. Jenkins, thank you very much. You can have a seat, please.
So here's the question I have, Ms. Gardner. If you find out that Mr. Dix is in fact cheating, what happens?
If I find out, well, when I find out the truth, I believe whichever direction it leads, it'll help guide me and give me that, I guess, push and, you know, to move forward, whichever direction that is.
You understand what's at stake here?
Yes, sir.
Because you've heard Ms. Gardner, you know how she feels. And it's come to this point.
Love, this is what we got. I think we got enough. One, we have the penis picture, and then we have the phone text messages indicating that he invited a woman over while she was at work. For all of these reasons, Ms. Gardner feels pretty sure that Mr. Dix is cheating. She's here for clarity so she can figure out, where do I go from here? But the one thing is for sure, there will be no marriage until she finds out what's going on.
To help her get that clarity, this court has done a full and complete investigation. At this time, we will call certified polygraph examiner Tommy Platt and forensic voice analyst Guy Wolf to determine, is he cheating? Long, please escort our experts in. Good day, gentlemen. How are you all?
Good, Your Honor.
Great, there.
It's good to see you. Now, Mr. Wolf, you performed a forensic voice analysis of Mr. Dix, is that correct?
It is, Your Honor.
And Mr. Platt, you performed a polygraph examination, correct?
Yes, sir.
You asked Mr. Dix a series of questions and he gave you answers.
Yes, sir.
And you each analyzed those answers, correct?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Let's take a look at the forensic voice analysis.
Did you have sexual intercourse with your coworker whom you sent a photo? No.
And Mr. Platt, you asked the identical question, correct?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
And what was his response?
He stated no.
Mr. Wolf, what did the forensic voice analysis determine?
The forensic voice analysis determined that he was being truthful, Your Honor.
Told you. Yes.
Mr. Platt, what did the lie detector determine?
The lie detector determined that he was being truthful.
All right. Mr. Dix, you looking happy.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
You asked another question, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Let's take a look.
Did you have sexual intercourse with your coworker who admitted to Miss Gardner that you were pursuing her sexually? No.
And Mr. Platt, you asked the same question.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was his response?
He stated no, Your Honor.
All right. What did the forensic voice analysis determine?
The voice analysis determined that he was being truthful, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Platt?
The lie detector determined that he was telling the truth.
Okay.
So,
I see a smile on this side. I see confidence, brimming confidence on that side.
Yeah, but we got one more question. Mr. Wolf, let's look at what you asked him.
Since getting back together with your fiancé, have you had sexual intercourse with any woman other than Miss Gardner? No.
Mr. Platt, you asked the same question.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you get the same response?
I did.
All right. What did the forensic voice analysis determine?
The forensic voice analysis determined that he was also being truthful, Your Honor.
boom. Myself, right?
And Mr. Platt?
The lie detector determined that he was telling the truth.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. I might be a little flirtatious, but...
Not a little, a lot.
I might be, but in the end of the day, I'm not going to cheat on you.
Mr. Dix, there's flirtation and then there's crossing the line flirtation.
Right.
Everybody to some degree is a little flirtatious, whether they admit it or not. But when you cross the line and start sending explicit messages, I'm going to do this, sending pictures of yourself, you've crossed that line, and that's a line you can't cross.
All right.
Here's the thing. Relationships work when you decide to be your best self, regardless of what the person's doing. If you are being your best, Mr. Dix, it's going to force her to pull up her game. And if you being your best, Miss Gardner, it's going to force him to pull up his game. But if y'all both being petty, it just devolves. So be your best you in this relationship. And don't make that decision based on what he's doing or what she's doing. Base it on, I'm here because I want you to be happy. And if you make that your focus, all this other foolishness goes out the window. You ain't gonna have the energy to protect those other women.
You all are dating. You've been dating about 3 years, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
All right, and Ms. Brown, why have you brought your boyfriend to couples court?
Well, I brought him here today because I need to know if he's still cheating on me or not with his coworker. Or anybody else for that matter.
And what do you have to say about that?
First off, Your Honor, she paranoid, and no, I haven't been cheating on her anymore. No, I mean, it happened before, yes, but, you know, I mean, I felt like she was, you know, hurt by that, and I don't feel like I can, you know, put her through that again, you know, because we do have 2 kids also.
So you did cheat in the past.
Yes, ma'am.
But you're a changed man now.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not buying it.
No, he's lying.
Why do you say that?
Like, when that incident occurred the first time when he cheated on me, he was staying out late and stuff like he is now.
You all have known each other since middle school.
Since the 8th grade, yes, sir.
Wow.
I mean, we started off, you know, just talking as friends, like passing notes back and forth in the classroom, so.
Take me back to happier times. Let's look at this and see what it looked like before it fell apart.
Well, one happier time was when we first met, which was in 8th grade.
Okay.
And, you know, I was in my classroom, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, there's no cute guys in this class. And then here comes his little short self walking through the door. I'm just like, he is so cute. You know, so that was a plus. And then, you know, we start talking or whatever, and he starts writing me notes telling me to meet him in the bathroom to kiss him.
Oh, man.
Oh,
you did?
Is that true?
No, I ain't telling you.
Yes, you did. He was trying to kiss me
Kiss it in the bathroom.
Always.
You did send her notes, though, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You know, me and Mr. Cutler met in school. We used to pass notes in class.
Okay.
That's how I have.
Another happier time was like our first date.
Okay, tell me about that.
The movies.
Oh, what you gonna see?
This scary movie. But
It's a scary movie.
He was scared.
Your first date was a scary movie, so that gives you kind of an excuse to you know, put your arm around.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No.
I like that. I like
That's
that.
a player. That's an old player move.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I learned from the best.
What?
So when you all were together initially, it was great.
Yeah, it was good. Like, we got our first apartment together and everything, and, you know, we had a family.
So where did it go wrong?
Well, it went wrong when he started lying to me. All right, we were going to a Christmas party.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, at the last minute, he didn't want me to go because we didn't have a babysitter for the kids.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, right. He goes to the Christmas party. You know, he's ironing his clothes and everything. And even then, I was like, why you gotta get all dressed up to go to this Christmas party? You see these folks every day at work.
So that was a warning sign when you saw him doing that?
Yeah, it's like trying to look good and putting on cologne, too, because he never puts on cologne.
So tell me what happened. I mean, he goes to the Christmas party.
And then he comes home. But he comes home in the back door.
Okay.
So, and then I was like, well, who dropped you off, DeAndre? And he said, the person who took me. And I'm on the phone with them. And they're like, no, I didn't bring him home. So right then, I knew that he was lying because I've never caught him in a lie before.
Why were you dropped off at the back door?
I mean, what sense
It's
does
just
that
the point.
make?
If I'm riding with somebody I know that you wouldn't feel comfortable with.
Right.
You knew you were riding home with somebody she wasn't
I just
comfortable
knew
with?
that it was a female.
And you knew that she wouldn't like that?
The same female he was cheating on me with.
But that night, it didn't nothing happen.
Okay, so wait a minute. How did you find out he was brought home by a female?
Her boyfriend texted me.
Okay, so the woman who brought him home, her boyfriend.
He told me that he had found text messages in her phone, and he just wanted to let me know.
What did you do with this information once you were told that?
Well, when I found that out, he was at work. And I called up there and I was like, why have you been lying to me? Like, cause you've been lying. And he's just like, I'm not lying. I was like, yeah, you are. She brought you home. I said, and y'all been having sex and I already know everything. So don't try to deny it now. I just hang up on him and I walked back to my house because I was at my sister-in-law's house at the time down the hill. She lives down the hill from me. I walked to the house and I just immediately start packing our stuff. You know, I'm leaving, bump this. And then he comes home and he brushes in and he's like, Lindsay, what are you doing? I was like, I'm leaving. You know, I'm crying, I'm hysterical.
Right.
And he's still denying it and it's pissing me off even more that he's still denying it.
Mr. Stewart, were you sleeping with this coworker?
Yes, sir. I did. It was not
twice. It wasn't just one time.
How did that happen? How did that come about?
Honestly, Your Honor, it just happened. I mean, it wasn't no feelings involved or anything.
It wasn't no feelings involved. He wouldn't be contacting her a month ago.
Were you all at work together on the day this happened?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you all talk about it at work?
And we just talk about our lives in particular, basically the children, like just comparing.
Okay, so
this was at work or before you?
My don't have nothing to do with her.
Was this at work or after you left work you had this talk?
After work.
Okay, whose car were you in?
It was in her car.
Okay, you were riding with her?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
She was supposed to be taking you home?
Yes, sir.
Okay, where did she end up taking you?
We just went to a little random place beside the road or somewhere.
Oh, wow.
She's
Okay.
easy.
All right, wait.
And he is too.
You went from work, talking about your kids, to
Exactly.
a random spot by the road where you hit it and quit it. Is that it?
And was that the only time you had sex with her?
Nope.
No, sir. It was one other time.
Where did that happen? On the side of the road?
Yes, sir.
Same spot?
Okay, so Ms. Brown, after all this happens and he tells you about it, how did you rebuild the trust enough to stay with him?
There's still no trust, but I stay with him because I love him.
Okay.
And I've put a lot into this relationship, and so has he. But, you know, he's made mistakes, and that's how I look at it. Because I know DeAndre, and I know, like, I don't think he would intentionally hurt me.
Yeah.
But it did hurt me, and I feel like he knows that, so he would never do it again.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not the perfect person. You know, I have done wrong in the past, but like I told her, I would work on anything I need to, you know, to show her that I'm here for her and I would not, you know, put her through that again, you know.
You see her crying.
Yeah, I see her crying. Yeah, that's very hard for me to watch.
Like, it hurts me to my soul because I honestly thought you would be the last person to hurt me.
Yeah, I understand. And I'm sorry.
And I mean, for you to,
for
if you are still doing that, DeAndre, then we just don't need to be. You know, we can be parents, but there don't need to be a us no more.
Do you love her?
Yes, ma'am. I love her very much.
Are you gonna try to move forward?
Yes, ma'am.
And you want to show her that you're a changed man.
Yes, sir.
And you're here to prove to her that you are not sleeping with anyone else right now.
Yes,
How
sir.
was he changed when he was just contacting her a month ago?
How do you know that?
Because I have proof. Here's his call log.
Well, where you get that from?
From the phone that you supposedly lost.
I have lost. I ain't seen the phone in 3 months.
Okay, whatever.
How did you get this?
Because I got an email sent to me just from applying for the phone. And it said view call log. So I viewed it and that popped up, you know, of May. And that's him to her number on May 14th. It started from 9:56 to 10:08 to 10:09 to 10:12. So he was gonna make sure this hoe was gonna answer the phone.
Well,
She's supposed to be at work at 10 a.m. So tell me why you calling her at 10:34, but you at work.
I'm supposed to be at work at 10.
You know, you trying to meet her. I mean, I don't know, and that's why I'm here, because I don't know.
So, Ms. Brown, this 570 number, that's the number of the woman you think he's cheating with?
Yes. I know it is. I talked to her. From
When did you talk to her?
When I found that call log, I called
And
her.
what did she tell you when you talked to her?
She told me that you tried to contact her, that y'all were, y'all have talked a few times since then. But she lied to me the first time, too, when I found out that he cheated on me then. She told me they didn't have sex because she was in my face because she was scared of what I was going to do.
Explain this to me.
She was getting my number from co-workers at work. They were just giving out my number, and she
Oh, so
ended
you
up
know.
calling my phone. And
Okay, so why didn't you tell me?
So I called, because why would I?
But
No, 'cause you know
Mr.
you
Stewart,
guilty.
you say that, you know, she got your phone number from coworkers at work and she's harassing you, calling you. This says outgoing.
Yeah, I know, I understand. That's what I'm saying. Like, the call out doesn't show where she called my phone prior to me calling her back.
Okay, 10:08 a.m., 10:09 a.m., 10:12 a.m.
Cause at first, Your Honor, I didn't even know who the number was, to be honest. That wasn't the same number that she had when all that did happen.
Okay.
It was a missed call, and I called the number back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times?
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, I get missed calls too. I don't call them back 5 times.
I ain't want to miss no important call.
So then why were you so nervous when I asked you whose number it was?
Okay, so Ms. Brown, in addition to your love suit, you have a lawsuit. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that.
Well, if I get proven to be right today, then I'm gonna need movers to move me and the boys' things out of our home. I'm gonna need $500 because that's what it will cost for them to move our things. And I have proof of that too.
Ron? Yes. If we find that Mr. Stewart is in fact cheating on you, you're asking this court to reimburse you $500 for moving expenses.
Yes, ma'am. Because I shouldn't be having to, me and my kids should not be having to leave our home.
And you would be leaving your home because he's cheating and you can't stay there anymore.
Right. I just can't deal with it. I'm not gonna continue to be disrespected.
All right. We will rule on this suit in a moment, but we're going to go forward with the love suit and continue that.
You believe he's still sleeping with his coworker?
Right.
And that's based on the fact that you have the phone call log showing calls back and forth.
Right.
And you say it's just some number and you don't know who it is.
I did it at first, but now I do, yes, sir.
In order to get to the bottom of this, the court would like to call a licensed private investigator, Mr. Redding. Yeah. Rob.
Stand right off your bottom.
Hello, Mr. Redding, how are you?
Hello, Your Honor, fine, thank you.
Right. As a private investigator, you use different techniques to see if someone's cheating, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Would you explain to the court what you've done in today's case?
In today's case, I was actually on a covert assignment doing video observation of Mr. Stewart.
Right. And when you say a covert assignment, what do you do?
I'm very discreet throughout the community as I follow Mr. Stewart around and video document what his activities are.
You tracked his every move?
I tracked him everywhere he went.
What did you find on day one?
On day one, Your Honor, at 6:25 a.m., the subject exits his house and enters his vehicle and is traveling to his workplace, driven by his family. And once he arrives at his workplace, he enters the back area. 2:25 p.m., he's viewed coming out and speaking with some coworkers.
So he did spend the day at work?
All day, on day number one, I can confirm that he did travel to work and stay at work all day.
All right. Mr. Stewart, is there anything you want to say before we continue?
Yeah, I'm just glad that she could actually see that I was telling her the truth, that I was going to work and it was there the whole time, and you know.
Well, hold on, Mr. Stewart.
That's just day one.
We still got other days to look at.
On day number two, he is video documented entering his vehicle at 8:48 a.m. and drives himself to the workplace. Again, he did drive straight to the workplace. Video documentation will show at 8:53 a.m. he arrived at his workplace and appeared to be talking to a co-worker prior to entering the building. They were generally smoking outside prior to entering the establishment.
Did you see anything that made you concerned about that interaction?
No, Your Honor. Everything looked pretty normal.
It looked like an innocent conversation.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, did you come across anything that was potentially concerning to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see.
At the end of the workday, he came out to his vehicle, went back around to the parking area of the workplace, and engaged in a conversation with a female.
Okay. Let's see.
And what was it about that particular conversation that was concerning?
What was concerning was, obviously, they were familiar with each other. Mr. Stewart was in the driver's side of the vehicle. The female entered in the driver's side, putting her head in. I couldn't actually tell whether or not there was inappropriate contact between the two, but they were obviously familiar and comfortable with each other. Once they finished the conversation, the female went around to the employee entrance of the building, and Mr. Stewart entered the side of the building.
Is that the coworker in question?
No. You sure ain't?
So that's a different coworker.
A different one. That just
She was leaning in the
family.
car right there. She was looking at the family picture that's on my dash.
Oh, how nice.
Okay, so have you ever had any sexual contact?
No, not at all.
In your expert opinion, was Mr. Stewart cheating?
During that surveillance period, I could not conclude any infidelity.
Ms. Brown, given this information from an expert, will you be able to trust him?
No.
You're not gonna be able to trust him?
I mean, no, not just from this, no.
Mr. Stewart, you're giving her reason not to want to really fully make that step toward trusting you. So yes, it's on her to give you a chance, but it's on you to make her want to give you that chance.
Ms. Brown, would you say to him what it is you want moving forward?
I just want you to actually show me that you love me. And not just tell me.
You all just hugged. So are you still planning to stay? Because if so, we can dismiss your lawsuit.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
All right?